इयं प्रेते विचिकित्सा मनुष्ये अस्तीत्येकेनायमस्तीति चैके एतद्विद्यामनुशिष्टस्त्वयाहं वराणामेष वरस्तृतीयः देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं पुरा न हि सुज्ञेयमणुरेष धर्मः अन्यं वरं नचिकेतो वृणीष्व मामोपरोत्सीरतिमासृजैनं दैवरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं किल त्वं च मृत्योयन्न सुज्ञेयमात्थ वक्ता चास्य त्वादृगन्यो न लभ्यो नान्यो वरस्तुल्य एतस्य कश्चित् शतायुषः पुत्रपौत्रान् वृणीष्व बहून् पशून् हस्तिहिरण्यमश्वान् भूमेर्महदायतनं वृणीष्व स्वयं च जीव शरदो यावदिच्छसि एतत्तुल्यं यदि मन्यसे वरं वृणीष्व वित्तं चिरजीविकां च महाभूमौ नचिकेतस्त्वमेधि कामानां त्वा कामभाजं करोमि ये ये कामा दुर्लभामर्त्यलोके सर्वान् कामान् छन्दतः प्रार्थयस्व इमा रामाः सरथाः सतूर्या न हि दृशा लम्भनीया मनुष्यैः आभिर्मत्प्रत्ताभिः परिचारयस्व नचिकेतो मरणं मानुप्राक्षीः श्वोभावामर्त्यस्य यदन्तकैतत् सर्वेन्द्रियाणां जरयन्ति तेजः अपि सर्वं जीवितमल्पमेव तवैव वाहास्तव नृत्यगीते न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो लप्स्यामहे वित्तमद्राक्ष्मचेत्त्वा जीविष्यामो यावदीशिष्यसि त्वं वरस्तु मे वरणीयः स एव अजीर्यताममृतानामुपेत्य जीर्यन्मर्त्यः क्व तदास्थः प्रजानन् अभिध्यायन् वर्णरतिप्रमोदान् अतिदीर्घे जीविते को रमेत यस्मिन्निदं विचिकित्सन्ति मृत्यो यत्साम्पराये महति ब्रूहि नस्तत योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो नान्यं तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते।
हरि ओम। The last we had, the Upanishad class was on the 13th of April. So it's been over 3 weeks. We've been studying the backdrop to the text. The first section talks of Nachiketa approaching Lord Yama because his father said so. I offer thee to death. Nachiketa approaches the Lord of Death, realizes the Lord wasn't there. So he waited for 3 days and 3 nights until the Lord appeared. And soon realizing the Lord gives 3 boons. The first boon Nachiketa asks the Lord is to appease his father. Ihaloka phalam. He wanted to be sure that his father is appeased. Then he asks him to give the ability to perform the yajna. Yajna, as we understand, is to constantly perform actions with an extraordinary spirit of service and sacrifice. And in the 20th mantra, he asks the third boon. There is this doubt. Some say he exists and some say he doesn't exist. Refers to the gist of the question Nachiketa is asking. What happens to Atman at death? Does Atman exist or does Atman cease to exist? We learned that this is the beginning of the topic of the Atma Jnanam. And from the very next mantra, the Lord starts addressing the third boon. So let's get on with the 21st mantra, please.
देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं पुरा न हि सुज्ञेयमणुरेष धर्मः अन्यं वरं नचिकेतो वृणीष्व मामोपरोत्सीरतिमासृजैनं दैवरत्रापि
So to the third boon, Lord Yama is saying, on this point, atra daiva api vichikitsitaha. Even the gods have doubted in olden times. Verily, the subject is very subtle. It is not easy to understand. Swignyayam. It's not easy to understand, O Nachiketa. Please choose another boon. Do not compel me on this. Give this up for me. Atiyenam. Give up. Give up this boon. Mam uparotsi. Don't press me. Don't compel me on this particular boon. Now, in the next few mantras, from this mantra onwards, you would see the Lord is actually testing Nachiketa. He's testing his disciple. The object is not to evade the question. The objective rather, is to, you must understand the intention behind why the Lord is trying to dissuade Nachiketa from asking. He's discouraging by saying even the gods have doubted it. They will have apprehensions. They would be having some lingering doubts. They may not be satisfied. So why are you asking? And here the gods refer to people with greater capacity to understand. That's what the gods mean. Gods means the superior, spiritually evolved people. Even they had doubts. Remember, the knowledge of the Atman cannot be gathered through the first three sources of knowledge. Atmajnanam can only be gained through the fourth source. The four sources of knowledge are pratyaksha, which is direct perception. Second is anumana, through inference. Third is through upama, through comparison. The fourth is through agama, tradition. So the only means of gaining Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya is through Agama, is through lending your ears to the Gurus. And here he is saying even the most brilliant intellects, the most wisest of souls, found it difficult to understand because the subject matter is very terse, is very cryptic, is very subtle. Therefore, I appeal to you to please disregard this boon, choose another boon. So again, as I said, the intention is not to evade the question. The intention is to test whether the student is really worthy of understanding. See, in a spiritual classroom, considering I've been in classrooms for some time, dealing with different inquirers, different grades of students, many stumble on this transcendental theme. And the majority of people are not ripe. Their intellect is not ripe to understand or grasp the truth. So many stumble on this concept, but they're not ready to understand. As we learn, that primary objective of any guru is to ensure whether the student is an adhikari. So the objective of this is only to ensure whether the student is an adhikari. If you ask me, a prepared teacher is looking for a qualified student. You wouldn't find a student of Nachiketa's caliber very often. So the teacher, in fact, is far more anxious to give than evading the point, because here he wants to give out the real wisdom. He's looking forward for a student who knocks at his door and says, I want to learn. Just like I'm still waiting for that first student to come and say, sir, I want to enroll myself into the foundation. I want to learn under you. The platform is set. The furniture is ready. Everything is there. But there's no student. Visitors come and go. So many come and go. But nobody comes there to say, I am there with you in the journey. I'm ready for it. The student is not there. It'll come. I have no sleepless nights over it. But I'm only trying to tell. When a student comes, please come, garland him and give him a red carpet treatment and say, no, there is no rush to get him into the board. Oh, get boarded, sir. We have been waiting for you. No such anxiety. Just make sure, what is it that you're here for? What are you trying to learn? What is your objective? You just do a little preparatory ground, don't we? And then when you find the student is put to test and he qualifies, then you dish it out. You know, our Narada, there's a very famous story in the context. You may have heard it. You know, Narada is said to be very mischievous. So he used to be always on rounds. And wherever he went, he used to do some mischief. So at some point, when he was traveling, he found at two distant places, there were two swamis, deeply engrossed in meditation. And the moment the first swami found the presence of Narada, he got up and sought his blessings and got into a conversation. And he asked Narada Muni, sir, can you please tell me, I've been meditating, how far have I reached? How closer am I to that moksha? In fact, this Swami was actually very far away. Aneka janma. But as his mischievous self, he says, sir, thanks for asking. In fact, I want to tell you, you are actually the verge of realization. Actually, the truth is, he's many, many janmas. But he tells you are actually the verge of realization. Having heard that, he said, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, Muni. You say that I'm at the verge of realization. I have few pending things to do before I attain moksha. Let me enjoy the world. Let me enjoy the samsara. My family is there. Let me go spend some time and come back. As you say, it is very near my salvation. He takes blessings and he leaves. A few feet away, another Swami, oblivious of all that's happening around him, soon realizes his presence, sticks his blessings. And this man actually is on the verge of realization. And he also asks, can you tell me how far am I? He says, and he was sitting, all these great men used to sit under a tree because it protected them from nature and it gave them some comfort. And he was sitting under a neem tree. As you know, the neem tree has these leaves which are very tiny, very small, huge tree, but tiny leaves. And he looked at the tree and he looked at the Swami who asked the question, how long? He said, the number of leaves this tree has got, that many janmas you have got to realize the self. To which that Swami said, oh, thank you for letting me know. I thought I had infinite janmas, but you're giving me a finite figure. I will step up my effort. And he got back to sadhana. Now I ask you, how do that fake sannyasi, a fellow who thought, who the words he went to enjoy the world, let me have some maja and come back. And a fellow who was right at the verge of it, how optimistically looked at life and said, there's a finite number for me to get to that state. So the world constantly puts you to test you, whether you are really interested in seeking that self, whether that desire to get to the self, which is known as mumukshatva, is that desire being compromised for anything else? Do you still have that fire to get to the self, no matter what? So that is what is being put to test. Sadly, in today's world, gurus don't follow this strict methodology. There is no qualification required. There is no test whether you're an adhikari. People are recklessly plunging into higher spiritual practices, unmindful whether they are worthy of it, whether it is right for me to do a particular practice or not. It's unmindful, reckless indulgence into spiritual practices. So Nachiketa, when he says, don't compel me, give this up, he's only trying to test. Let's see, what is the test he will put him through? 22.
दैवरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं किल त्वं च मृत्योयन्न सुज्ञेयमात्थ वक्ता चास्य त्वादृगन्यो न लभ्यो नान्यो वरस्तुल्य एतस्य कश्चित्.
Nachiketa is using the same language which the Lord used. Thou sayest, O death, that even the gods have doubts here and that this is not easy, so easy to know. None other teacher, Vaktaha, none other like thee who can tell of this can be found. No other boon is equal to this. Anyavara tulya yetasya kaschitaha. There is no other boon equal to this. I am very clear. And I don't think there is any better teacher than you, O Lord. Since, see, in the previous mantra, it's a masterpiece, the previous mantra, he is using psychology suggesting the suggestiveness of the analysis of the psychoanalysis in the previous mantra. How the mindset of Nachiketa is being tested by the Guru. And what Nachiketa does, he uses the same psychology to answer back the Lord. Since you say even the gods have doubted this, or they have doubts over the subject matter, I don't think there's a better teacher than you. Therefore, I think my question stands. I think I still want to know, because there is no better boon than this. So he takes the very same reasons. He uses the very same justification and supports the need for the same boon. We need a great guru. We need a great master to understand the text. I don't see any greater guru. I don't see any greater man than you, O Lord. Therefore, the boon remains, because I don't see anything greater than this to ask. No, since I've spelt it out, it's rather easy to answer this question. Imagine if the Lord were to appear to you and ask you a boon, not three boons, one boon to ask. What would you ask? Don't tell Atma Vidya. I'm telling you now only. SR, what boon would you ask? Be very true. Very, very true. Huh? Sir, I'm afraid we can't hear you. No, we still can't hear you. You have been unmuted, but I'm afraid we can't hear you. Maybe you would like to log out and log in again, please, if you can do that. Until we get you back again. Raghu.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om, sir.
Yeah.
One boon. What would you ask?
One boon, probably.
US citizenship, huh?
I already got it, Guruji.
Oh.
So
when did you get it?
I got it before 1 month before. After,
Right.
yeah.
Then you don't tell us, is it? What is this?
I thought it is regular, normal stuff. Lot of people getting. So I thought it is also like a ration card, Aadhaar card.
Then I also will apply. Ration card, Aadhaar card, I also will apply that. What is this? Huh?
Yeah, they are giving for everybody, Guruji now. There's
Oh, is
no
it?
discrimination.
So you have my credentials. Please apply for me also. Sariya?
Yeah, definitely will do, Guruji. A lot of people without citizenship, they are just crossing. So there's no need to.
I will not cross that way. I will only cross with citizenship. Don't worry. So what is the boon you want?
The boon, if
Never mind.
only
Never
one
mind.
boon is there, then probably I'll ask. Probably.
Time out. Time out.
Yes, sir. Yes, Guruji. I'm unable to come up with that. Which one I should ask?
No. You're not being able to be true on screen. That's all. Many boons are there, but you have to be very true to yourself.
Because there's only one chance, then if
That's
I
what.
ask for something like petty stuff, then I will not be able to get the real stuff.
So in order to encash that opportunity, what do you need? What does one need to encash this opportunity of the boon, to maximize on the boon? What does one need?
Yeah, my assumption is, every person, if you ask, people who are at the end of their life, they have different boon. If starting their life, like kids may have different boon, like children, if you ask, they may ask for a bigger candy or something like big chocolate, something like that. So I am thinking I will ask for better clarity and thinking, at least to be able to ask better things.
Smart answer. Hmm. All right. But the question I've further added, I take note what you said. Well answered, Raghuji. That what is it that is required to optimize that one boon? Given that you only have one boon, what is it that's required to actually do justice and capitalize or optimize that opportunity? Gayatri Ma, what is it required?
Actually, when somebody asks for something, what is the constant thought which is there, which comes in? We ask for it. So that ananya chinta, constantly what we are thinking is what usually it comes out and we ask.
What is it? Ananya Chinta is worshipping. You worship it. So the
Yes.
question is, what would you ask? That will be in the forefront of your thoughts,
For
right?
me, if Lord comes in front of me and asks, I will say liberation from samsara.
Another Nachiketa on the board. Huh? Lot of pain of samsara. Huh? Samsara is really painful.
No pain. I don't want gain also.
Liberation from samsara. Okay. Granted. May thou be blessed with that. Setuji.
Hari Om Guru. Grace to be make me inverted, introvert, not introvert. From extrovert to introvert.
All right. Now, since I told you can't ask Atma Vidya, now you all are thinking, what should I ask? Otherwise, very easy to say Atma Vidya. Arunama.
Hari Om Guruji.
Yes, ma.
Maybe I would ask for a sharp intellect.
Sharp intellect. But can you tell me what is it that is required to capitalize on a boon or an opportunity?
We must have the consistency to pursue the goal that we are seeking. We should not be swayed by distractions.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, when you know, Raghu said there are so many things in my mind, I don't know what to ask. But how do you capitalize? What do I ask the best?
I think like what is somebody like Gatrima had said earlier, if you know what you really want in life, I think that will come to your mind and you will ask, what's the foremost thought? What are you seeking for in life? And what is the path to that goal? So you will ask for that to clear the hurdles in the path. So one thing, so if you ask me, I would ask that, give me that consistency to work in reaching my goal, which is what I like personally.
Right.
So that's what I would ask.
Give me the Shraddha.
Yeah, the Shraddha.
To pursue the goal. All right.
Yes.
Fair enough. Right. Srinivaji, are you able to connect? Okay. Until we hear. Ramji, you first answer the second question before you answer the first question.
What is the second and first, sir? I thought there's only one question.
No. First question is what would you ask if you get one chance?
Correct. And what do you
Second
need
is,
to? Okay.
what do you need to?
Optimize this?
to optimize that opportunity of asking one boon.
Yes, sir.
So please ask the
I-
answer the second question first.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I will answer the second question first. You need the wisdom and intellect to think clearly and ask quickly, because you don't have much time. So when he comes and asks like that, you have to respond quickly. So you need that wisdom to actually optimize what you will ask. And to answer the first question, I will ask that for that wisdom.
All right. I would still want to visit that second answer, but let me hear from others. Shivaji?
Hari Om. Actually, there's nothing to really wish for, because you have been given everything. Having taken the human form is the highest thing that anybody can ever get. Aridu aridu maanidanai pirattal aridu. Taking this human form is highest thing. Why are we hankering for anything beyond that? And realizing that you are already here in heaven. There's no other heaven. People searching for heaven make this life hell. Heaven is here right now, here, this moment, every moment.
So நீங்க குரு பூன் கொடுக்கறாரு, நீங்க குருக்கே ஒரு லெக்சர் கொடுக்கறீங்களா? ஒரு 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 பூன் கேட்டுப்பானா பெரிய எனக்கே எல்லாம் இருக்கேன், நீங்க திருப்பி லெக்சர் கொடுக்க. சரி.
It's already there. That's what you keep telling us every day. You are already there.
No. I am not talking of you mentioning. No, Lord appears and says, "Oru boon ketupa." You are giving back a lecture to the Lord itself. Ella koduttinga edu unakku vendu venda. I don't want anything. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Right. Ashama, gather your thoughts. Next to you. Yes, sir.
I would ask.
Ashama, just a minute, please. Just a minute. Yeah, yes, sir. No, we still can't hear you, sir. Yeah. Maybe if you can just share your thoughts on chat. Some people are telling private message. I'll ask the Lord to put some sense into others. What an opportunity! Well optimized, I must say. Put some sense into that fellow. Sorry. Yes, Ashama.
I would ask that I have no desires and enhance my sadhana. That's all I would ask for.
True. All of you are so right in your own right. I would have no comment on that, but rather on the second question. The question is, how does one optimize the opportunity? Now, what you don't need, as Shivaji rightly said, you don't need the Lord again to appear and say, I give you a boon. Isn't the very fact that we are born as a human, isn't this itself an opportunity? This itself is an opportunity for you to eke the best what life can offer you. And to optimize that, what you need is you must have a trademark quality of a Shishya, is you must have that sense of Vairagya. That Vairagya is to see the hollowness in the worldly pursuits, so that the desire for the self, the desire to get to the self, gets a precedence. When that Vairagya is lacking, this desire becomes one amongst the many other desires. Vairagya is what? Dispassion. There's a genuine disinterest or dispassion. Not that you don't understand the charm of the object, not that you don't understand the joy that it offers. You understand it, and yet you understand this is inferior, is ephemeral compared to the eternal joy or the eternal bliss that you would get by getting to the self. So to understand the hollowness in the worldly pursuits, so that level of vairagya, if you have, that is when you can optimize. Now you get, Ramji, what is the point?
Yes, sir. Yes. But
Because if the
reaching that,
vairagya, sorry, sir.
I was saying that reaching that state of vairagya itself is you're almost past 60-70% of your journey. So all will not be in that state. If somebody is not so progressed in his journey, then what will they ask?
Then they will ask for something, as Raghu said, for something material,
correct.
something.
Correct. That's true.
You will encash it for something trivial compared to that grand wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir. With no due respects to anybody or anything that was said here, there were two students who used to attend my classes when I used to take in Hyderabad those years in the early 90s or mid 90s and all. And those two fellows the parents used to disagree, going to Gita class. So each used to tell the other at home that I'm going to go to my friend's house for study, combined study. So A used to tell the parents, I'm going to B's house. B used to go to A's house. And every Sunday, those fellows both used to come for Gita classes for years. And invariably, both of them have graduated from the ashram. They joined the ashram full time and they are involved with the pursuit. The second fellow joined the ashram a little late. The second fellow, their parents actually migrated to US. And they said, you also are coming with us. They said, come along with us. And he had no choice but to go with them to US. And within a span of 2 years, they got a green card. This was in 97, 98 at that time. They got a green card, letter for green card. So, and it was almost a couple of years by the time they processed and they were there, the paperwork happened. By then, this boy, he was doing some part-time work and he saved enough money to sponsor himself and come to ashram for the study for the 3 years. I don't want to be a burden to the ashram, nor would I want to depend on my parents because they will not support me. And he was a major. So I said, I want to study this knowledge. Not believe. Few weeks before the actual green card was issued, he rejected that green card. He left US and he has joined the ashram. To my knowledge, the boy is still serving the cause from the ashram. And Swamiji was so impressed. Look at this young boy. When people are rushing or going, I'm saying in the early 90s, it was far more craze than perhaps what it is today. It was a dream thing to get a US citizenship or become a green card holder there. It was everything. And here this boy says, I'm not interested in what you have to offer. You can keep your green card with you. He rejected and he came. And the parents couldn't do anything. So that amount of vairagya, you need to reject the lower and pick up the higher. And that is what Nachiketa is saying here. He says, there is no other boon that is equal to this, as this boon Atma Vidya is to attain the highest. So even to ask for that desire, to ask for Atma Vidya, what you need is that Vairagya. And a guru looks at that spirit of Vairagya in a student. So when you ask that question without Vairagya, vis-a-vis when you seek this knowledge with Vairagya, are chalk and cheese. So the student here, which is Nachiketa, he understands all other boons, all other fruits are anitya phalam, are impermanent fruits. So this boy, the young Nachiketa, is only interested in getting that Atma Vidya. Now, I got a direct question here. How to develop Vairagya? If Vairagya is what that is needed in a student, how do you develop Vairagya? How to get it? Harish, you're not seen, but you are there with us. Can I ask you this question? Yes, Harish, you can try now. Yeah.
Arun Guruji, can you hear me?
Yes. Looks like you have already developed a lot of Vairagya.
Oh, Guruji, I'm a long way away.
No, at least the look says a lot about it. So you can find a place in the Himalaya to start meditating. They may not
Guruji,
allow me because we are clean shaven. No, clean shaven means we are. You see, you don't have time to even shave. What amount of Vairagya? My God, what amount of Vairagya?
Guruji, it's a very deep question, actually. It's a very, very deep question. I don't know, Guruji, if I have two thoughts. One thought is the experiences of life lead you there to develop that situation where you have Viagra. It's an experience of life that leads you
Hello,
there.
you need to pronounce that correctly first.
Yeah, I did, Guruji. I did.
No, you didn't. That's the reason I caught you there. See, if not me, you look at SR, he is laughing. He is not able to control himself.
So
SR, you need to train him how to pronounce that word correctly.
I'm stuck with that pronunciation.
Vairagya.
Bye. Okay.
Vairagya.
Yeah. Vairagya.
Vairagya. Right.
I think it's I think over a course of life experiences, it somehow leads us there to develop that Vairagya. And also, Guruji, I think it's also, I think it's part of, I don't know, my question, I mean, is it part of our vasana as well? We are born with it, or it's inbuilt?
No.
Okay.
You're not born. See, each of us are born with certain amount of. See, in fact, Vairagya is a spiritual quotient. If you were to answer it that way, it's something. It doesn't come naturally. You got to work towards it. In fact, I would say Vairagya is your spiritual quotient. You got to acquire it. You got to work towards it. Vairagya is the effect. Vairagya is not the cause. Please understand that. So, is the effect of your spiritual sadhana. Vairagya is the result of your spiritual efforts. If Vairagya is the effect, what is the cause? How does one develop Vairagya? So I'm asking, what is the cause of Vairagya? But when you say its experiences, are the challenges or the bitter experiences of life, does one develop Vairagya to life?
I think it makes one reflect at the course of life. Why is it happening to me? Why am I experiencing this? And with the knowledge and the teachings, we go into the studies to understand the depth of ourselves through the Gita, the Vedanta classes. It leads us there to question what is the greater meaning of life. I mean, I'm coming from that line of thought.
Right, right. Indeed, indeed. I get you. I get you. All right. Thanks, Harish. Yes, Yadiji? Yes, sir.
Attaching to the higher takes us, we get vairagya that way.
But in order to attach to the higher, you need detachment from the lower, right?
Yeah, but when you attach to the higher, lower drops.
No, you can certainly say so.
See, our lower lingers because we are still not, that much attached to the higher. We have to have a lot of clarity on that, and we should be steadfast.
Hmm.
Then everything drops over a period. Consistently, it's a detachment. Detachment is now we can't fight with lawyer.
Hmm.
It is futile. We have to believe in higher first,
Hmm.
and we have to believe that there is a real Almighty who is the creator, and we have to totally attach to him.
I want you all to actually ponder further on this. How does one cultivate Vairagya? Perhaps we can revisit this question because it would be the theme, the next few verses, which you see very evidently exhibited by Nachiketa, which we will see in the next couple of mantras also. He puts it so evident. So please ponder over it, but please understand the line of thought should be Vairagya is the effect, is not the cause. You can't try and practice Vairagya. You can't practice. It's not something, Vairagya is not something you start practicing because it's not a practice. Vairagya is something you exhibit. It means it is something which you have it. I can't practice it. I attain it. So if I have 30% Vairagya, I can only exhibit 30% Vairagya. I can't practice 35%. It's not something I can try and grow that Vairagya by practicing Vairagya. So Vairagya is an effect, right? It's a consequence, it's a fruit. So what is the cause of Vairagya? What do I need to do? You may say the spiritual sadhana. Yeah, that is in general, yes. But the point which Harish was saying, it's not, you may get fed up to a certain thing in life. Just for example, if I'm fed up with in a relationship, or if I'm fed up with pursuing a particular project, and if the project is giving me so much pain and challenges, and I can't carry on, what do? I give it up because of the pain associated with it. Those of you who were there for the public lectures, do you remember we spoke about the 3 types of renunciation, the 3 types of tyaga? Vasantama, I know you were there, physically and mentally. So can you tell me, what are the 3 types of tyaga or renunciation?
Yes, Guruji. Hari Om, Guruji.
Yeah. Just to give you a lead, we spoke about sattvic renunciation, rajasic renunciation, tamasic renunciation. The 3 types of renunciations. We took a reference from the 18th chapter of the Gita.
The 3 types of tyaga, Guruji.
No problem. You can gather your thoughts, for no issues. We remember we discussed when we spoke about renunciation in action, we spoke about 3 types of renunciation. So most of the people practice false renunciation, which is rajasic and tamasic renunciation. Sattvic renunciation is hardly followed. Maybe when you classify these 3 and clarify what they mean, then you understand what is true renunciation. No issue. Absolutely fine. No problem. Yeah. Setuji, yes, you have something to say?
One is physical, mental, intellectual.
No. The 3 renunciations are sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, tyaga. Tyaga is relinquishment.
Yeah.
But he classifies them into 3: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, not physical, mental, intellectual.
Yeah.
Gayatri Ma, you have the source of the verses with you? You can share the PPT. Can you pull them up? Who has an idea from the lectures? Is fresh. This is last week. Ramji, any idea? Remember?
No, sir.
No. How come? How come you all have missed it? UK?
No,
I'm
I
asking
don't
those I know who were there. You remember we discussed, right?
Yes, that I remember. But Sattvic, what is the explanation? I am not able to recollect.
Guruji, we had discussed tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic renunciation.
Yeah.
Tamasic was abandoning our obligatory duty out of ignorance, and rajasic is relinquishing action due to pain, bodily trouble, or physical inconvenience. And sattvic renunciation is performing obligatory duty without expectation of the fruits or attachment to the fruit.
Perfect. Excellent. So, rajasic and tamasic renunciation. There you go. This mantra, let's chant. Niyatasya tu sannyasah
karmano no
prapadhyate mohatasya parityagah tamasah parikirtitah. So, hold on, please. Tamasic renunciation. Verily, renunciation of obligatory duty is not proper. Understood. That relinquishment from delusion, So when you give up something, when you renounce something out of delusory nature, out of ignorance and delusion, it is declared tamasiga. So I give up my family, I give up my responsibilities, I give up my business, I give up my dharma towards a society, and I decide to do something else out of delusion, out of ignorance. That is tamasic. Next, please. Yeah. Dukkha yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakritva rajasam tyagaha naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Indeed, he who relinquishes action that is painful from bodily trouble, that rajasic relinquishment, when you do, he does not obtain the fruit of true relinquishment. You don't obtain the fruit of true relinquishment because it is not true relinquishment. So when you give up something because of a certain pain associated with it. So when Harish was mentioning, I was trying to clarify this. When one goes through experience of life, challenging, demanding, bitter, painful, you may say, I'm fed up with it. I don't want to do it. I want to give it up. Is that kind of relinquishment right? Now, many of us at times give up things in life because we are not able to get it, or it is difficult to get it. This is not true renunciation. Now, what is it? Oh, 1 minute. Go back. Hold on. Gayatri Ma, don't change until I tell you. In this, he says, you don't obtain the fruit of relinquishment. Now, what is the fruit of relinquishment? The fruit of relinquishment is attainment of higher, right? When do you attain the higher? Only when you drop the lower, as Sitri just mentioned. Now, what is the lower here? The lower are your desires and attachments. When you give up something out of a bodily trouble, it is not that you have got rid of the desire and attachment to that action. What you've given up is the action, but you still crave for it, you still have attachment to it. Therefore, you are not blessed with the true fruit of relinquishment. So you're not transported into the higher because you're still holding on to your karma, desire, and your attachment. So you find most spiritual practitioners, unknowingly, they are practicing rajasic and tamasic renunciation. Now the sattvic, please. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangham tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga sattviko mataha. Whatever obligatory action which ought to be done, indeed performed. So the accent on sattvic renunciation is you perform the obligatory action. Whatever dharma compels you to do, you do it. Wherever you ought to be, you do it. So it is no question of escaping your roles and responsibilities, duties and obligations. But while you're doing it, what you're renouncing is tyagaha and phalam. Attachment to what you have, fruit to what you don't have. You relinquish your attachment and fruit. That is regard sattvic tyaga. So relinquishment is to the non-essentials of action, as we explained in the lecture series. So you need to expand on this. So you need to examine the vairagya that you're developing to the world. Is it because of difficulty? Is it or delusion? Or you are performing your action? This definition is hardly emphasized. Yes, Gayatri, thank you. This, Harish, you get the point. So sattvic renunciation is you are in the midst of action. Wherever you ought to be, whatever you ought to do, you do it. But being there, you're renouncing the attachment and fruit. So it's a mental renunciation. It's not a physical abandonment of doing anything. So Nachiketa was of a very high caliber. He had no value for any of that which was offered, or in fact, which the Lord actually spells out. Why I refer to those 3 verses of the Gita is it gives you clarity to understand what Vairagya is, what dispassion is, just not giving up. So what you give up is the charm or the value for the object, not the object. You may have the object, you may remain with your family, but you're not a slave to that object or enjoyment. You're very much in the marketplace, but with a spirit of total detachment. Again, the famous comparison is to the Padma Patramivam Vasaha, like a lotus leaf in water. That's the true example of Vairagya. Must be in it, yet out of it. Yes, ma. 23, please.
विचिकित्सितं पुरा न हि सुज्ञेयमणुरेष धर्मः अन्यं वरं नचिकेतो वृणीष्व मामोपरोत्सीरतिमासृजैनं दैवरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं किल त्वं च मृत्यो यन्न सुज्ञेयमात्थ वक्ता चास्य त्वादृगन्यो न लभ्यो नान्यो वरस्तुल्य एतस्य कश्चित् शतायुषः पुत्रपौत्रान् वृणीष्व बहून् पशून् हस्तिहिरण्यमश्वान् भूमेर्महदायतनं वृणीष्व स्वयं च जीव शरदो यावदिच्छसि
Putra Pautran, sons and grandsons. You may choose sons and grandsons who may live Shatayushaha, 100 years. Herds of cattle, Pashun, Hasti, elephants, Hiranyam, gold, Ashwan, horses, Mahat, Ayatanam. Choose a vast kingdom on earth. Because they are not on earth. He has gone to the heavenly abode where the Lord resides, Lord Yama resides. That's where they are conversing. So he says, choose a large, vast kingdom on earth. Live yourself as many years as you like. Ichchasi. Whatever you like. Jiva Sharadaha. Live as many years, Yavataha, as many Ichchasi, as many years as you like. All of these horses, cattle, gold and elephants and sons and grandsons, all of this is of no use if you die young, no? So he says, you live as long as you want. You give a number to enjoy all this. Now you see, even though Nachiketa only wants Atma Vidya, Yama is continuing his temptation, which is known as Pralobhayan. So he has got a temptation program offering. So his temptation program is going on. So he is trying to throw endless charms to test the caliber of the student. So the mantras 22 to 25 are offering all the material things in creation which a layman like me and you may crave for. But Nachiketa is not interested in this. You and I may fall for it, may fall. But Nachiketa, he has mastered that dispassion. He has mastered the vairagya towards all the objects and beings of the world, the Ihaloka and Paraloka. He has mastered it. So the test is not to break a student, but rather the test is to make sure the student is worthy of a Vedic expectation. There's a certain Vedic aura, a Vedic expectation. Sir, what do you mean? What sort of a question is that, Ramji? I expected a better question than that from you, Ramji. Still, I'll have to answer the question since you asked it. Yes, sir.
No, we never choose our sons and grandsons, right? And they come based on their own vasanas. So what does he mean by choose your sons and grandsons?
You're too philosophizing. He's only saying you will have the best of it.
Okay.
May thou be blessed with the best of son, best,
Okay.
not sons. You will have as many children as you can ask for, as many grandchildren as you can ask for. In that sense, it's a blessing.
Okay. That's it.
Not that you choose, means you can ask for it, you know.
Okay.
I want son, second, I want a daughter, third, I want son. The first grandchild will be daughter, second grandchild will be son. And the mother choose for go. He'll give you whatever you want.
They're all called designer children.
Designer children. Nowadays we can choose, no? They do modify and say you can have a boy or a girl. You want this or want that. And the madri. Like that. So the test, perhaps, I don't know how many of us will pass this test. But if at all a student fails, a student is never condemned. Rather, the Guru gives the instructions to purify the student so that the student raises to higher standards. A student is never condemned for failing this test of preparation to seek Atma Vidya. I wish I had the amount of vairagya I have now when I was with my Guru 30 years ago. But my Guru didn't reject me then. I still had some amount of vairagya to pursue this knowledge. Whatever I had, whatever I was interested in, I was not interested in that pursuit. The moment I heard this knowledge, it was an instant fascination. I took to it like fish to water. Obviously, there was no other interest. But still, I have evolved from what I was to have developed the vairagya. So a guru never discourages. He only encourages a student to cultivate this quality. So the list of temptations that the mantra mentions, sons and grandsons, not just sons and grandsons. You know, this evening, I have a karyam karma to perform, an obligatory duty. There's an invitation to attend a ceremony of one of my relatives has become a great grandfather. So I'm going to take this mantra to him and bless him. Not grandfather, great grandfather has become. So my blessing would be, may your sons and grandsons are centenarians. That's what he says. Shata, your sons and grandsons live hundreds of years, so your lineage will not end so soon. It will be continuous. Everybody thinks of lineage. No, after me, what? Who is going to get all that I've acquired and amassed? It has to go to my children, my grandchildren. It must not die with it. So hundreds of years, cattle, elephants and horses, also gold, all the material wealth, the kingdom, vast kingdom of earth refers to power. So you can have power, you can have material wealth, you can have family, children, grandchildren, all that you can ask for. You know, my guru used to tell, if I really want to know the truth from you fellows, he will say, I'll have to intoxicate you all. Give you little few pegs. You fellows will speak the truth. Because after you have lost your sense of awareness, you will only speak the truth. How many are wise in that in this classroom? I know. All the wise people will remain to be maunam now. I've had no experience of that. I don't know. But I know to the extent that it is true. So if I really want to know what it is, intoxicate all of you. And then you will speak nothing but the truth. So whether you really have a value for all that he is throwing at him. In fact, the very, very famous verse or the mantra of the Upanishad is the 26th mantra. So when we come back next session, you will hear what Nachiketa, he became famous because of that particular mantra, which is the highlight of that text. We'll come back and we'll take it. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.